Hello, everyone, and welcome to Support Someone Saturday. Today, I'm here with Christine Olson of the TIFFS initiative. Hey, Christine.
Hey, Amy.
Good to have you on today. Christine was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and lived there until she heard the waves of change calling her to Florida in 1999. I love it. I love Florida. She joined her brother and son, who already were there, and she relocated to the beautiful island of Anna Maria. Tiffany, her daughter, wanted to finish high school and stayed back with her father until 2000, and then she joined her mother in Florida, and the three of them were together once again. Christine volunteered at Moat Marine Aquarium, their whale and dolphin program, as well as for the Island Turtle Patrol, and felt like life couldn't get any better. I love that. I love dolphins, a woman after my own heart.
Yes.
And then on December 7th, 2005, it all happened. Tiffany was involved in a fatal crash with her boyfriend. And in the blink of an eye, her life as she knew it would be forever turned on its head. Christine will share her story on how she was forced to make a choice, to literally die or to do something, so no one would have to endure the horrific events she did that night. And so TIFFS initiative was born. Thank you so much for joining us, Christine. This is such a powerful story. I can't wait to hear more. How are things down there in Florida?
Things are doing very well. We are in a nice cooling temperature right now. We're in the 60s, low 70s. And peaking a little bit at 80, but it's absolutely stunning here. So we're very, very grateful. And Amy, I'm so grateful for this opportunity to share with your viewers on this incredibly important topic. So thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, Christine. So tell us, Christine, what is TIFF and why was this system developed?
Well, as you mentioned in the intro, Amy, things couldn't get much better when I relocated to Florida, and it was my son Derek, Tiffany, and myself all together on this little 7-mile long barrier island and participating in some great volunteer opportunities, worked with a baby whale, the dolphins, sea turtles, and it was magical. And then everything came to a screeching halt on December 7th, 2005. I remember it well because it was a Wednesday, and I had asked Tiffany to go to an event with me. And she's like, "Oh, Mom, I already have plans with Dustin." Dustin was her boyfriend. And I said, "Oh, darn you, Tiffany." So I said, "All right, I'll see you Sunday at church." She's like, "Okay." So I went about my evening and went to a big event that was being hosted here. Came home, turned on the TV, made my hot tea, and getting ready to go to bed, kind of winding down from a long day. Went to bed at 11 o'clock, and my phone rang at about 11:15. And I honestly thought, Amy, who calls me that late at night? Really, And I was going to let it go to voicemail, but there was a gut feeling that said, get up and answer the phone. So I did. It was my son, Derek, and he was 29 at the time. And he says, "Mom, she's been involved in an accident. Get to Manatee Memorial." He said, "Don't ask questions. I'll meet you at the hospital." So honestly, Amy, I don't even know if I got dressed. I can't even imagine. I jumped in my car. I got to the hospital. I met Derek there at the emergency room. Ran inside. I said, "I'm looking for Tiffany Marie Olson. She's been hurt in an accident." And they looked at me and they looked at their computer and they said, "Well, she's not here." And I said, "Well, she's been hurt in an accident, so she's got to be at a hospital somewhere, right?" And I said, "Can you call another hospital? I mean, she's hurt." And they said, "Because of the HIPAA law, we don't do that." Now, you're a mom. You're a mom.
I mean, this is like making me want to cry.
I don't cry. I want your viewers and listeners to listen to this. We don't do that. We don't call another hospital because of HIPAA.
Yeah.
I said, "Can you call the police? Someone's got to know where she is." And she's probably crying for her mom. And they said, "Well, we don't know who to call. We don't know what county it happened. We're an emergency room. And by all reality, that's what they do. They handle incoming emergencies. So they ushered me into a little room, and believe it or not, it still had the phone on the wall. I can see the phone with the cord, and you pick up the phone and you dial operator, and you hear, operator, what number, please? And I'm like, oh my God. I said, I'm trying to find my daughter. Please, someone help me. So nothing happened. Nothing happened. And finally, I mean, I'm so cried out and exhausted. 1:30 in the morning. Now, Tiffany accident happened at 7:01. 1:30 in the morning, I'm standing outside the emergency room. And right now I'm reliving this. I'm seeing this again. And Highway Patrol pulled into the parking lot. And my son, Derek, like I said, was 29 years old. He was standing on my left-hand side. He collapsed and started crying. And I looked and I just said, not Tiffany, not my girl. And law enforcement approached me and they very casually said, sorry, she's gone. And I'm like, where? I mean, all I know is she's been hurt in an accident. I don't know what you're saying to me. What do you mean? Like, did she go to St. Pete or Tampa? I don't know what you're exactly saying. And if I remember nothing, Amy, I remember the shrug of a shoulder. And it was one law enforcement. He said, well, no, I presume she's with the medical examiner, but they're closed. You can call them in the morning. Call them in the morning. They said, can you sign for this? And they handed me a plastic bag with my daughter's belongings in it. Now let's just pause and think about that for a minute. Here's a plastic bag. Here's your daughter's belongings. Can you sign for that? And sent me home. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So I looked at my son and I said, Derek, I have to get gas. And he's like, Mom, I said, I have to go. So I drove home on fumes. I remember I had no gas. I drove home on fumes with my daughter's belongings on my lap. And I sat up all night until I felt it was time appropriate to call someone. And I called my girlfriend, Lisa, at 6 in the morning. I remember that. And she said, what are you doing up so early? Normally I slept in a little later, evidently. And I said, Tiffy was killed. And she's like, I'm on my way. So everything started to unfold. And honestly, my time frame is off. I don't remember because when you experience something like this, you go into a fog. You are operating, but you are not really living. I mean, you're organizing a funeral. People are coming in, the phone calls, people at your door. And you look around and you see mouths talking, but you hear no words and you just are functioning in a fog. But somehow, somewhere, this idea popped into my head. And I said, well, because Tiffany was on the back of a motorcycle when her accident happened. She was with her boyfriend and she didn't have her purse with her. She had her driver's license in her pocket. And I thought, would it have helped if there was something in a driver's license to tell them who to contact?
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm a server at a restaurant, so I don't have any education in law enforcement or government or anything, but I had an idea. So I went to work and I started talking to people. I said, what do you think? Amy, what do you think about putting emergency contacts in a driver's license?
Smart.
And the island is 7 miles long. It's a little island. So everybody knows everything that's going on. And they said, let's start a petition. And people actually started going door to door. This has got to happen. This has to happen. This is important. This makes sense. So I went to my state representative at the time, Bill Galvano, told him my story. And he said, oh my God, this is amazing. He then took it to Tallahassee Department of Highway Safety Motor Vehicles. State of Florida responded, why haven't we done this? We're doing this immediately. Now, you don't hear state government talk like that either, do you?
No.
Not immediately. So Tiffany is killed December 7th of 2005. October 2nd, not even a year later, I am literally the first person in the world to register my emergency contact information at Bill Galvano's office. And you talk about being scared.
Mhm.
They sit me in front of a computer. I'm not computer literate. All the cameras are on me, all the microphones, law enforcement standing there, and they're saying, put your information in. I'm like, they don't even know if it's going to work. It's brand new. Nothing like this exists. But I did it, and I hit enter, and I went in as the very first person to register my emergency contact. So your question was, why was the system developed? Because there is nothing available to law enforcement that works like TIFFS initiative, providing emergency contact information quickly, literally with a scan of a license. Law enforcement will know who to contact, that who you designate as your emergency contact. So the question again, why was it developed? Because the national average is 6 hours. National average is 6 hours before someone can be reached and notified in an emergency, sometimes much longer.
Yeah,
So
it's hard. Thank you for explaining that. It's such a moving story. My goodness. And yeah, I'm just amazed how you've taken something so hard.
I hope that, I hope it's a shocking story in this day and age of technology, that it shocks someone to say, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, this doesn't even seem logical, but hopefully, and hopefully with this interview, there is a solution available, but we got to get it out there to the public.
Yes, definitely. I think this is so important. I'm so glad you're on today. This is like wonderful timing. So thank you. Tell us the, what does TIFF stand for? I don't know if you hit on that, because I know it's.
So I work at the Rod and Reel Pier, which we get a lot of people from Illinois there.
Okay.
And we were trying to find something with her name, Tiffany, Tiff, but going through GoDaddy, there was nothing available, or you had to try and purchase a web domain or something. And I had a customer, her and her daughter, her name is Kathy and Mona. They said, I think we have it. TIFF, to inform families first.
That's awesome.
It makes all the sense. That's the mission. We're making sure families can be reached quickly in an emergency, and make sure that they are notified fast. First. Yes. So that's where the word TIFF came on, and it's all because of her name, which is pretty amazing in itself.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. There's a legacy there with your daughter.
There is. There is.
Her loss was not in vain. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I get, That's beautiful. I love that, to inform families first. And tell us, why did you choose the color purple? I see you're wearing a purple t-shirt, and that's part of
yes. So Tiffany's entire world was purple. And I still have, I saved her toothbrush, her hair tools, her hair dryer. She had this very long flowing hair. And so her favorite colors were purple. And so it just seemed logical to use the color purple as the campaign color. And it was also, if we put the link on here, if you go to Florida Highway Safety Motor Vehicles /ECI history, emergency contact information history, the state of Florida uses her prom picture, which is in the purple dress. So we'll make sure we use that, but they can also see the success that the state of Florida is having as they promote this program daily. The state of Florida is very, very active in this because it's a solution for them. It's an answer. So if you have an answer, you want to provide an answer to as many people that are willing to listen.
Yes.
So that's where the purple.
Tell us the link again, and we will post it on this.
Yeah, so it's Florida Highway Safety Motor Vehicles /ECI history. And we'll get that link to you that you can add. I'll send it to you.
Thank you so much, Christine. That's really helpful. That's awesome. Now, if I were to register, tell us about this. Obviously, I'm up here in Illinois. Who would have my information? How does this work?
So when you register with the state of Illinois, most of your listeners are there. Hopefully you got more people than that listening. You simply go to To Inform Families First,
Okay.
.org/action. When you
Okay.
go, that's our landing page.
Okay.
Everybody can register right through TIFF for their participating state. So because Illinois is participating in this program, you would go to that link, you
Okay.
would click register, and then click the state of Illinois. When
Okay.
you click Illinois, and Amy, actually, you could be doing this, you could click
Yes.
Illinois, your website will open, your driver's
Okay.
license website will open before you and ask you, what do you want to do here? You say, I want to register my emergency contacts. That's what I want to do here.
Okay. Sure.
And put that information in the state of Florida, and I don't know if all the participating states are offering 2 contacts, but here in the state of Florida, they're asking for 2 contacts, your primary and your secondary,
Okay.
with the option of 3 phone numbers per contact plus an address.
Okay.
Now, the state of Florida is under the assumption that people still have landlines. I still have one.
Okay.
But if you don't have a landline and you're giving the option of 3 phone numbers, put as many fill up all those spaces
Okay.
with
Good
as
to know.
many phone calls and many phone numbers as you can. Because law enforcement, when they arrive at the emergency, whatever it is, medical, car accident, fall, fire, whatever it is, they're going to take your license, scan it like a credit card, and the emergency contacts that you have delegated right there will show up, and they will start going through those contacts. Reach out to those contacts and let those contacts know Amy has been hurt in an emergency. She has been taken to the local hospital. They can contact your husband. They can contact your parents. They can contact whoever you have as your emergency contacts.
Okay.
And it's only used in the event of an emergency. So, it's an emergency where you are not able to speak.
Okay.
So what does that apply? I mean, what applies there? I mean, it could be, I had someone tell me about a reaction to medication. And they kind of blacked out from a reaction to a medication and hit a tree. It could be when you're scared. I got hit going to work one time, not hard, but enough. And it shakes you up. And when they ask you, who's your emergency contact? Well, your emergency contacts are in here.
Yeah.
I don't know that person's phone number offhand.
Yeah.
Because everything is in here now.
I hear you. Yeah.
So if you say, well, what's your son's address, Christine? Oh, I don't know. I don't know offhand. I know his phone number because I call him enough. But if you have an emergency contact that you're like, I don't know that number offhand because we rely on this. They're just reaching out to the phone numbers and the contacts, and also by providing that address. They're able to go to that address, send someone there, and it could be, in some cases, maybe an elderly parent.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want that person driving to the hospital because now they're scared. You're going to escort them there. Let me take you to the hospital. Let me know. So
yeah, and that kind of goes into that question, who would benefit by registering? So we're kind of talking about that, like anyone could really benefit, all ages, because accidents and emergencies happen to people of all ages, right?
Well, we talk about that, and being in the state of Florida right now, we are in snowbird season.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of people visiting from Illinois, Ohio, Wisconsin, Michigan, all these different states. They are vacationing and staying here in the state of Florida. If something was to happen to them in Florida, law enforcement is going to show up, and they're going to take the driver's license, and they're going to go to that address. But they're not at the address, are they?
Yeah, it's in a different state.
They're in Florida. They're in Florida. So who do I contact?
Yeah.
Where do I go? Who do I reach out to? And especially if your state's not participating. I mean, so And like I said, we got a lot of, we got a lot of elderly, but we got a lot more families coming now. We got spring break going on. What goes on with spring break? Unfortunately, drinking and driving. I'm just saying, it's the truth. There's parties. So, it's for everyone. It really is. It's for
good.
travelers. Amy, you and I were talking about your husband used to travel a lot.
Yes.
And so if your husband is traveling and something hurts to him when he's on assignment somewhere, how do they look at your husband's driver's license, but if you're not home, they're going to come and knock at your door, but you're not even home. So you may be picking up the kids from school. So now where do I go, Amy? Where do I go to contact someone? And that's what starts that 6-hour window. There's your 6-hour window starting to happen. And so you have, snowbirds, vacationers, travelers, first-time drivers. Amy, you were telling me that you have a daughter, I believe.
Yes.
That's going to tell me a first-time driver.
Yes.
Well, when they should be prompted through the driver's license, people. We have tax collectors in the state of Florida, but when a first-time driver with the permit, they're registering emergency contacts with the permit. And then and the driver's license. So the first-time drivers, I just did for your listeners, if they go to Inform Families First on Facebook, I just did a Facebook post on a situation that happened. There are situations with runaways and teenagers that are, there's situations going on in the home. So the kids aren't coming home at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock that you would think. But there was a situation where a 13-year-old girl was picked up and transported to the sheriff's department because they were part of a group of kids that there was an overdose happening. And the kids were running, letting the overdose victim to die because they're scared. In the case of an overdose, just recently Maine is getting on board because I talked to a detective. I talked to Detective Druin in Maine. He said our problem is overdosing. Law enforcement responds to an overdose situation. I do not know who to contact on behalf of that victim. I don't know who the parents are. I don't know if this child is a runaway. I don't know if this child's been abducted. I don't know anything. So this is for every single person on our planet. Regarding the post that I did, I want to reach out to the state of Florida. How do we start incorporating this program into younger children that may be a runaway or whatever? So it's going to be an ongoing solution. I call TIFFS the solution, but we have to get it out there and we have to get people registered and we have to get people advocating. So,
yes, that's good. And I wanted to ask you, where is it available? We mentioned a couple of states, but can you tell us the states?
Well, there's if you go to toinformfamiliesfirst.org/action and hit that register button, it is in every state from Ohio to Tennessee to Kentucky to Florida, of course. And there's so many. New Jersey, Pennsylvania got on board. It's going up that East Coast. Texas just recently got on board. So they're working hard on their awareness. But there's about 15 that we know of. But that leaves a whole lot of states that are not participating. So we have to be engaged. Are we just going to hear a story on a podcast or on this show? Are we just going to say, oh, that poor mom? Or are we going to be people of change? Are we going to say, how do I get involved, Christine? What do I do in my state? Hey, Amy says, I got family. My parents live in Minnesota. How do we get Minnesota on board? Let's work together as community, as advocates, as people of change, and do something about this crisis. And it is a crisis.
Yes.
Have a solution. Let's be engaged in this. So I'm looking for advocacy and helpers to come alongside me.
That was my next question. What is your plan moving forward and what kind of help do you need?
So right now, I'm in the 15th year of TIFFS initiative of the concept of putting
Mhm.
emergency contacts in a driver's license. And I want to touch on one other topic, because some people say, well, I'm already registered on my phone with ICE, ICE, in case of emergency. With a cell phone, people can put emergency contacts in that way. But you have to think, if my phone is damaged or
Mhm.
password protected, I don't have access to any emergency contacts. And that program actually was started, ICE, ICE, in the UK by a paramedic. His name is Bob Brothy. I've had a conversation with him.
Mhm.
And as a paramedic, 1 year before TIFF, he said, we have a crisis. And when paramedics arrive to the scene of an emergency, we don't know who to contact unless you provide. Who do you want notified? So he started it in the UK with a cell phone. But he said, with the cell phone and the driver's license, we will have people covered. So
Mhm.
the goal with the 15th year right now is to scatter seeds of change and solution across the United States. Get it into as many people's brains. Let help,
Mhm.
hear people's stories. Has this happened to you? Has anybody listening ever experienced anything like this? We want to know and get this to a state, for the states that are participating, for advocacy. Come on board and help us get it, to more and more families in the state of Illinois, but also to advocate and work to get it into the states that are not participating. And honestly, it took the state of Florida less than a year to implement it. And now we're over 17 million people that will never experience the horrors I did, because they are registered. So I'm looking for partnerships. I'm looking for people that, insurance companies, travel companies, moms. Moms are a big one. Mom blogs, mom outreach, mom podcasts, mom groups that say, hey, I know some people. So partners, insurance companies would be great. Like Allstate is my insurance company. I've asked them about it. State Farm, AAA, all these different. What if we developed relationships and partnerships that could help expand this and get it out to millions of people? You're out there, guys. You're out
Yeah.
there, but you have to reach out and say, Christine, I am here to help. What can I do to help you? So the goal is to scatter the seeds across our nation and to get it to more and more families, because Amy, you and I are speaking right now.
Yeah.
Someone is going through a crisis and they're not going to be notified. They're not going to be notified because nobody told them that this was available in their state. So we have to be the change. We really,
Yeah.
we
I
have,
agree.
we have to be part of this, and not just a bystander, not sitting on the
Mhm.
sidelines, but get engaged. And I think that's what community is about. When community works together, the wheels of change turn.
I
And
agree.
so let's get this done in the state of Illinois and beyond.
Yes, I agree. So I am thinking, as we talked about, family, and our daughter just turned 16 and she's about to get her license. Just my first action step will be to register. So when I finish this interview, I want to register our family, each one of us. And so that's going to be my first action step. So tell us, how can we register here in Illinois? And what about the other states? Is it all the same
Yeah,
website?
so it's under toinformfamiliesfirst.org/action. That's the landing page that'll lead you to all the states participating. There is also a link on there for advocacy. How can I get involved? What can I do?
Okay,
There
good.
are people that are out there that are movers and shakers,
Yes.
and so to connect with them. And if you are in a position to donate, make a donation.
Mhm.
We have to, this takes funding. You have to fund things like this. Say, hey, I'm happy to help, Christine. What can I do? Because right now we are engaging with different marketing aspects to raise awareness. And
Sure.
and them are companies that we have to pay for. Sponsor us, sponsor,
Mm-hmm.
sponsor. Maybe, maybe there was someone that you lost due to an emergency
Mm-hmm.
situation where the things could have been different. Do it in memory of a loved one, on behalf
Mm-hmm.
of so and so. Christine, I want to get engaged in this.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have all the answers, but your listeners, there are people that say, you know what, Christine, we did this, and this helped a lot. And I'm open to hear from anybody, but I'm also looking for people that may have
Yeah.
writers, people
Mm-hmm.
that can say, hey, let me write. I'm a writer, a content writer,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to get stories in magazines. Get it to your
Yes,
local
sure.
airwaves. Get it to your airwaves. Contact your local news. Say, guys, why aren't you doing news stories on this? We're
Mm-hmm.
parents that need you to talk about this.
Sure.
So you get your news stations involved, get mother groups involved. So that's all I'm coming up
Those are
with.
fabulous ideas. I love it. I know. It's
Um,
just like, how can we spread the word across every nation, every community, or every state actually across the nation and get more people
it's
involved?
telling the
'Cause
story. It's telling the
yes.
story. Did you know? And
Mm-hmm.
are you willing to take your chance and wait 6 hours?
Mm-hmm.
I hope you're not. I hope you're not
Yes.
willing. I hope you click the link that this broadcast is going to air. You register and then pay it forward. Can you share it with 5 people
Yes.
and ask them to share it with 5 people?
That's
Um,
good.
we can do that too. So,
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that.
yeah.
Yes, because then we can get the word spread. That is so awesome. Anything else that you want to add today, Christine?
Well, this is the hardest journey of my life.
Mm-hmm.
To tell the story over and over of my daughter's death
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, it cripples me. But I know if I stop
Mm-hmm.
talking, you're not going to know. You're not
Mm-hmm.
going to know. So I have to talk, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking for help. Please come
Mm-hmm.
alongside me and help me and be the voice in your
Yes.
state. Help me be the voice in your state by speaking the truth of TIFF and helping those around you get registered and notified quickly. And together we can do this. Together we
That is so
can.
beautiful. That's so beautiful, Christine. I feel really good about this. I think you're going to go farther. Maybe you'll even get
Well,
on the national news. That would be awesome. If
that's
anyone's
what we need to
listening
do.
and you
Yes.
have connections, let's get her on like Good Morning America, right?
Good morning, America. Yes. Oprah.
Okay.
Oprah.
Yeah. Come on. I agree. Let's get the word out.
Now wait, one more thing. Anderson Cooper. Let's get him
Yes.
involved in
All
this.
right. Yes.
Anderson Cooper, he
Mhm.
comes from a very large family, very well connected, CNN
Yes.
and all that, but he lost a brother
Mm-hmm.
to suicide.
Yeah. So he understands
This,
emergency and crisis. Mm-hmm.
yes. So Anderson, we need you.
There you go. If
So
anyone knows Anderson Cooper watching this,
yeah,
Christine would love to be connected.
yeah. So there you go. So
You never know.
that's about it, Amy. But your viewers can reach out to me. I'll supply my email address. And once again, it can't be up to one mother. It's got to be up to all of us. So thank you
Yes.
so much for this
You are
opportunity. I really,
welcome.
really appreciate it.
You are welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today on Support Someone Saturday. Christine, I think you're doing an amazing job of honoring your daughter, Tiffany. I can't imagine. I admire you for bringing something so beautiful out of something so painful, and just your heart as a mom, not just for Tiffany, but for people across the nation. You have that mothering, nurturing personality. I can tell, and I just love that. So thank you. You're
Oh,
looking out for all of us.
yes.
So for all of our viewers and listeners, if you'd like to learn more about TIFFS initiative or register like I'm going to do right after this, you can go to www.toinformfamiliesfirst.org/action. And we'll also post that link here on the interview. So thanks so much, Christine. And thank you everyone for tuning in today. Have a blessed Saturday, everyone.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.